All right, welcome back to another episode of the Bold American Podcast. If I sound like I don't really have a voice, it's because I don't really have a voice. That thing was left in Baltimore, and I gave everything I had from the stands. So we're gonna talk a little bit about the Army Navy recap. Some tough stories this past weekend. I'm sure everybody by now has heard about Rob Reiner. Just want to mention him and his work. The shootings in Australia and at Brown University, horrible incidents. The green on blue incident in Syria. And then we'll finish up on a high note, on a happy note, talking about Christmas traditions, and seeing what everybody's going to be up to for the Christmas and New Year's holiday. Because I guarantee, I'm pretty sure I can guarantee nobody will beat my New Year's Eve plans. Wait till you have to hear about that. But let's get started. Ryan, floor is yours.
Floor is mine.
Go, Ryan. Let's go.
I don't even know what to say.
Why are you so surprised?
I mean, last 72. Well, we all shared the last 72.
We did actually. No shit. This is the first time in the show's history.
We all had the same last 72, except for one thing. You guys lost, and we won. I mean, that's. I was like trying to think, like, how am I going to show up tonight? Like, part of me wanted just like a glass of whiskey beside me. Like,
I'm surprised you're not like with a glass of champagne.
I mean, we all lost our voice. I was questioning if we were going to be able to record tonight. Listen, I'm going to keep it high. I'm not going to talk shit. That was an incredible game. I think we all walk away with our heads held high. They showed up. Both teams showed up. We were able to share the stage together. I loved hanging with you guys at the tailgate. It was so much fun. It was awesome. And like the game itself was just like down, as you guys know, down to the last second. And God, I don't know. For me, I showed up this year, like not really, well, I'll tell you. I went on the field, Rob. I saw you because Palantir gave the Travis Manning Foundation a $50,000 check on the field, and so I was in the tunnel when West Point's football team came out onto the field, and so I'm standing there, and I just hear these drums, and I'm like, "What's going on?" And the team comes up, and I caught it on video. I posted in my story, but there was something about it, and you could hear them yelling and. One of the kids, and I have to send it to Theo, somebody screamed, "This one's for you, Theo." And, Theo is the athletic director at West Point. And there was something about it when I heard that. And I was just like, holy shit. Like I was pumped up for West Point, honestly. Like I'm standing in the tunnel with them and they ran out and like, I don't know. The game, obviously I wanted the game to go the way it went. But there was a lot of emotion tied to me in this game. Eli Heidenreich, number 22, who had like the game of the century, played incredible. He was wearing Travis's first recon battalion patch for the game. Oh, wow. I got to hang out with his parents at the tailgate before. And I don't know, it was a special day and it was awesome to be with you guys. So I'm not going to talk shit. Like we best team won this year. And Connor, keep it. And but West Point showed up. They showed up and they gave Navy a run for their money. So I'll leave it at that.
Rob.
My voice is back and I'm still buzzing from the weekend. Not just the weekend, maybe the whole week, talking shit, just having fun, going back, the banter, like the great storytelling that everyone does across all our channels. Sidebars, all the different events, the media appearances we did, the after party, the tailgates. Ryan, you threw such an A+ tailgate. I think I told you in person on Saturday too that I went to the Travis Manning tailgate, I think 2018. And this is now the second time I've been to your tailgate for more than a few minutes and really took it all in, was able to meet General Dunford. actor that I've been a fan of since childhood. But to see how hospitable it was for Army fans, because it is a Navy tailgate, but to see just how you pull off such an amazing, like, compound of an event. You know, like I've been overseas. This what you and your team do is, I'm not just saying this, is fantastic, and you make everyone feel so appreciated, even from the Army side. You had a ton of Army football legends there, like Cons and some other dudes that I grew up with, and you had some former NFL players there in my crew too, and they were vibing, and they were just so grateful to be there, and you guys provided that. And so thank you. And then Johnny Mack and some other tailgates, also phenomenal. The game itself, being on the field, I had goosebumps. I'm just talking about it, I still have goosebumps. Was able to bump into Mark Wahlberg, shot the shit with Pete Hegseth and Tulsi Gabbard for a few minutes. Like, what? And then obviously the Army team running out, almost tears in my eyes. Yeah, I mean, I'm like losing my voice just talking about it right now. But the game obviously didn't go our way, but our guys held into it, I think, until the last quarter. And there was some shitty luck there on some of those key plays. I'll let Cons go into that, but what a fantastic weekend. And I did it. I'm an alcoholic. I'm recovering this year, and I did it sober. And I had every opportunity to really grab a drink. I had some urges, I have to say, and I'm proud of myself for not indulging and keeping a level head on. So I'm going a little long here, but
no, it's okay. Because also too, Rob, I mean, it's like if there ever is a weekend where there's just alcohol readily available, and you don't really even have to like pay for it in a lot of situations.
I know. I mean, dude, you know me, like I can get a drink wherever I want. Like, and I gotta say, I've done a lot of parties and events and dinners and been around some important people over this year, and I never really had an urge, but I was a little nervous going into Army Navy about how I would pull through. And I think just the vibe, you guys supporting me, being surrounded by great friends and family, clients, partners, sponsors, and just being busy, I think, and intentional. I didn't even think come game time that I needed like a beer or something. So I'm looking back at the weekend, even though we lost. What a hell of a weekend. And I'm glad to be here with you guys today.
Well, proud of you for that too. You know, that's not easy. So
yeah, dude, that's tough. Seriously, I'm like saying that kind of jokingly, but it's very serious. I mean, it's a very celebratory weekend with a lot of, and I don't mean to say that like it's overindulgent. It's just there's alcohol present in a lot of events. So that's,
I get it. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah. No.
All right, let's attack this.
Yes.
All right. From the game standpoint, I mean, I actually felt worse last year. Maybe because my expectations were so sky high last year. Coming off of that season, I was like, all right, we're just going to get this done. It's going to be the best season in Army history. And then we lost bad last year, and the game was never really close. Then this year, you know, we're the underdog. Everyone's, you know, champion behind Navy, and what a great year they had. And listen, let me start by saying, you know, tip your cap. Great game by them. Mm-hmm. They stayed in it till the end. They didn't fold up shop. But I was rehashing the game today, watching clips, watching highlights, reading things, and you forget when you're there sometimes because maybe you're talking to somebody and you're not fully paying attention to every single play the way you might if you're watching it at home. I rewatched some things, and when you see just how close Army was to making this thing go their way, I mean, right before the half, you know, getting in position and getting that field goal was big. But even our second drive, getting stopped on the goal line as opposed to getting 7 points there. On the day, we made 3 field goals. If one of those field goals is a touchdown, Army probably wins.
Yeah.
You know, right after half, you know, a pick six that ended up being a field goal. I mean, you go from the joy and the high of getting a pick six to see in the replay, and I'm not arguing. I mean, the kid's knee was very clearly down, so it was the right call. It was a bang bang play, but I mean, that was tough. Credit to Horvath, that kid.
Yeah,
tough kid, because a lot of people put their head down. He put the ball on the ground 3 times, and we got one of them right before the half ended, and that ended up being points. And then the ones in the second half, certainly the one on the goal line, you don't anticipate knocking the ball loose on the goal line.
Oh, that hurt. That was
shout to your boy. I'm pretty sure it was Heidenreich
who
recovered that ball. Hustle play by him. I mean, we fall on that. Who's to say we don't run the clock out at that point? And then, when Navy had to get the first down to seal the game, we knocked the ball. And I mean, this is just
freak athleticism.
That play.
That was nuts.
Sometimes things just go your way.
That was nuts.
We knocked the ball loose, and it somehow just bounces right back.
I mean, the way. So I watched that play in slow motion afterwards. Somebody had put up a edit of it.
Yeah.
And, it pops up, and then he kind of goes up and he grabs it. But the craziest thing is when he doesn't even pull it in when he's going down, and then he's reaching out. Oh, it was like a moment of beauty. It was pretty incredible. The athleticism involved there was crazy.
So, and then, the interception Navy had in the second half, and Coach Munkin even mentioned it in the press afterward. And I watched the clip, and I'm not faulting Cale Helms here, but it's if he throws the ball from the pocket right away, Anderson had both Navy defenders beat. It's a good chance he even scores on that throw. Instead, he rushes out of the pocket, throws off balance, and Navy player undercuts him. So it's you almost just want just one of those plays to go in Army's favor, and that might be enough for Army to win the game. But it's just a razor's edge, and the way we played in the first half to come away with the loss in the second half, that was really, really tough.
Cons, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Coach Newberry too. I'm giving him some credit. I feel like he outcoached, and I say this with all respect to Monken and our guys, but I feel like Coach Newberry is just able to, with the luck and some of the execution of Navy, the talent they had, he's on year 2 or 3 of Navy, right? He's kind of scary in these games, I feel. What do you think?
I will reserve judgment on that until he's got 12 years under his belt as a head coach. True. I would say the first 3 are going pretty well for him.
Yeah.
He's 2-1 as the head coach. He's got back-to-back CICs, so that's an accomplishment. But I don't know. I would reserve judgment, and certainly I would reserve comparing him to Munkin this early on.
I would just say I think there was something there. I felt it as a Navy fan. There's something special about this team this year.
And sometimes that's the way it goes in football. They find you sometimes teams have that it factor where they find ways to win. Because Ryan, I think you'll admit, you don't make that many gaffes and still win the game typically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I mean, listen, I was definitely nervous for, I would say 99. I was nervous until we got that first down at a minute and 50 seconds.
Yeah, because even then, if we stop, if Army stops them there, all we got to do is get a field goal. So we got to get 15 yards.
Yeah. Well, so Connor was sitting with me for a little. He stopped by, and then I didn't see you leave. So when that happened, I kind of turned around and somebody said, "Where's Captain Cons?" I don't remember who it was, but I was out front.
I'll just that right now. Nothing against you. I had no desire to go and visit you during the game, because the last time we had a good first half and I went to go kind of feel myself a little bit was 2019, and how'd that work out for Army? So I was like, nah, I'm going to stay here. But my brother-in-law wanted to go see somebody that was in your box, bring him back to the other. It was a whole thing. And I was still happy to host my brother-in-law, which, he played football under Joe Paterno at Penn State. So you talk about a guy who knows what it's like to play on the biggest stages in front of, 100,000 people. And he was blown away. This was his first Army Navy. I was so grateful and happy that I got to experience that with him and bring him along. And it's interesting when old football players can kind of, just fit right into football players that they've never met before.
Was that his first Army Navy?
Yeah.
That's always special when you bring someone.
Yeah. So it was, that part was really special. And he's just he and I have a great relationship. He's a fantastic guy, fantastic father. And for him to see that, and he's a very big patriot and loves the country. So to see that up close and personal, I think was really special for him. And like I said, he kind of fit in seamlessly. We were out at dinner with a very nice crowd on Friday. And let me say that, this year was the first year probably since 2014. Yeah, I would say 2014, since I've had like zero obligations other than to make my own content. Rob and I, we were at Radio Row on Friday, but I didn't have any obligations Saturday morning before the game. So I kind of took my time, got to the tailgate. Ryan, I can't say enough. I've been to a lot of your tailgates now, and seemingly they get better and better every year. The footprint that you have, how hospitable it is. And I think it's important to point out, it really is a neutral tailgate. It's not about Army or Navy. It's really just about like, hey, we're all people that love this game. Let's just congregate in this one area. And by one area, I mean a massive, massive footprint. I mean, the first thing Rich, my brother-in-law, said when we walked in, he's like, whoa, okay, she wasn't kidding. Like, this is serious. And it really is a first-class tailgate. And it was, again, the first year I got to like really sit and enjoy myself at the tailgate. Everyone's so friendly. Shout to your girl, Maura, on your team who puts it on. She couldn't have been nicer. And everybody was just so hospitable at the tailgate. Obviously, the music, it was a good time. Food, the cigars. It was just, even like little things, like you had the heated lamps everywhere. It turned out to be a nice day. It really wasn't really that cold, but still had heated lamps everywhere. You had the mini fire pits with the Adirondack chairs. It just is a very comfortable situation.
I looked over at you at one point. Yeah. And I felt like I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off. And that's how I feel every year. And I'm just like, all right, once I get into the game, I'm going to relax. But like, I love it. Like I feed off that energy, but it's just like, I want to be talking to everyone. I want to make sure that I'm, saying hi to everyone. And I saw Connor and Rich when they walked in. They made themselves home. Like, of course, like I don't need to worry about you guys. But at one point, Connor said, I'm like over talking and I just hear, Ryan. And I turn around and Connor's just there with a beer and a cigar sitting in a Adirondack. He was like, well done, And,
seriously.
And one of the things I wanted to say is when I was thinking about it, I actually just got back from Baltimore today. I had an event at Under Armour this morning. So I'm driving home today and I was reflecting on the entire weekend. And there was like one moment for me that it encompassed everything that this game represents. Cause we keep talking about this game is different. And so, Connor invited me out on Friday night to dinner and he says, oh, come on out. It's going to be me and my brother-in-law, a couple of friends. Well, I show up with a friend. And I don't realize that like Connor's brought me out to like have dinner with all like, old West Point football players. And I'm like,
oh, I know this crew.
And I'm like, how did this happen? The night before Army Navy, I'm sitting in a steakhouse with all old West Point football players. I'm like, this is wild. And so, so David Boreanaz, who from the show SEAL Teams, he was at the tailgate. He was just like eating it all up. And I brought him along to dinner with us. And he just, Connor got to know him throughout the weekend, but he's a big conversationalist and he wants to learn and to know and to, all the things. And Connor's giving introductions and we're going around the table and he's introduces his one friend and
funny.
And he starts telling he's basically like, what was he, the all-time?
He's second all-time leading rusher in Army football history. Carlton
second
Jones.
all-time leading rusher in our, and so, and David's taking it all in and he's nodding and he says, so that's amazing. Oh my gosh. He goes, so did you go on to play in the NFL? And without skipping a beat, Carlton looked at him and he goes, nah, I played in Iraq and Afghanistan. And we were all just like, and it was like that for me. And even David goes, oh, fuck, like, yeah, there it is, but like it brought it all back, right? Because it's like, we always talk about like every single young man on that field is going to go off and they're going to be one team when they graduate. And just to hear it put into that context of like, and you're watching like Blake and Eli and like seeing everything that's happening for them out on the field. And they're knowing like, that's it. Like when we graduate, like we put on a uniform, and that world is over. And I don't know, that was the moment for me where I was just like, yeah, this is why it's so different. Like that, like Carlton wasn't like, I don't know, I'm really good. Maybe there's an opportunity here, I mean, every once in a blue room, we get the Roger Staubachs, but for the most part, like you're putting on the uniform and you're going to go serve. And so I love that.
Heidenreich, he'll probably get a look. But it wasn't really just a funny retort to a very innocent question, because it wasn't like David was trying to like put him on the spot and make him feel bad. He literally thought like, oh, well, if you had all those yards, you must be good. So probably you got to, he didn't understand it. So that was interesting to kind of bring David up to speed on the game. And I like to say, listen, from the time I arrive at Army Navy on Friday until kickoff, I'm undefeated. I've never had a bad Friday first half of Saturday. It's always an awesome time. I always have so many laughs. And Ryan, it was great having you there, especially for all the people who think I actually don't like Ryan. I actually enjoy Ryan very much. One funny thing that happened for me was when I came to visit you in your suite, your daughter, Maggie, was there. And she kind of like gave me a side eye. And I'm like, I just put her on the spot. I'm like, what's up? What's up? I heard you don't like me. And she's like, I'm like, no, go ahead. You can say it. I heard you don't like me. And she's like, yeah, I don't like you. That
was a topic of conversation on Sunday. She's like, why'd you have to tell Captain Collins I didn't like him? I'm like, because he asked me who to like him.
Just own it.
But she sees the banter between us, like, here. Yeah. So it was funny.
Yeah. And the last couple of things I'll say about the game, then, we can move on. It's always interesting to me, and this goes, again, back to this game is special. People care about this game, and this will lead into my final point. But I'm always amazed at who I see on the sidelines, who decides I want to go to that game, whether it's their first time or 20th time, to see people. Because I was standing there, I was talking to my brother-in-law at one point, and I see out of the corner of my eye someone coming towards me. And next thing I know, Coach Kelly. It was Chip Kelly, who I have a little bit of a relationship with.
Oh, wow.
Just through some other friends. And I hadn't seen him. Last time I saw him was at Saratoga Racetrack. Gosh, this was before I had kids. So probably 4 summers ago. And it was great to see him and catch up. And he was excited to be there. And he's like, oh, Coach Max, he'll be in the bathroom, or he's in the bathroom. He'll be right back. And Coach Mack is a longtime coach at UNH, a legend in coaching, football coaching. And it was great to catch up with him as well. And then, of course, like I've seen Wahlberg at the game before, but I had a chance to kind of chat with him this time. And listen, I'm not like a fanboy. I can be in a room with an athlete or an actor and be comfortable and not like, oh my God. But I do appreciate, like, I'd be lying to you if I said I don't like anything Mark Wahlberg's ever done. There's a ton of his movies that I really enjoy. And I think he's a good actor, and what he's done for the veteran community, I think, is important. So it was nice to be able to chat with him, get a picture. I do appreciate people and their work. And
I got one too. On that, Taylor Sheridan.
Oh yeah.
And 30 minutes with him in a company's box. I'm not going to mention their name, but I think you know. But Taylor wanted to know everything West Point, and like he was the way I describe like the Gothic history and some of the haunting. Like it looked like his mind was going for like another show.
Was it? I was just gonna say, was he starting to think like, wait, maybe there's a show here?
Yeah, because I told him all about like the history of the morgue under Pershing and how it was a hospital and like the lost 50s and the hauntings and like some of the Revolutionary War stories that happened at West Point against the British. And dude, his mind was like, it was like he was illuminated. And we exchanged some information, and it was like a no bullshit when I posted that about meeting Taylor Sheridan and like some West Point ideas. He's like thoroughly enthused about what West Point means to America and like the old school history about it, and how you had Union classmates versus Confederate classmates fighting each other in the Civil War.
Yeah.
And he just like lit up, and I told him that I was a cadet in Lee Barracks in B1, named after Robert E. Lee. Still not, they haven't swapped the name out or anything. And that's the only Confederate general barracks at West Point. And then it's right across from Grant. And like, he was just like, what? Holy shit. And that was just
funny. Just such a surface level understanding that I would think 99% of people have about the schools.
Yes. And so that was another highlight I forgot to mention. But as like notable people, like Taylor Sheridan, shout out to you, sir.
Yeah. But that leads me to my last point. And this chatter that I'm hearing about, the need to move the game to accommodate the college football playoff. And I understand some of that to an extent. I do think the game needs to remain a standalone game in its time slot. Now, if other games need to be played on that same day because we've run out of weekends, okay, I got it. But I do believe that needs to be a standalone game. And I think anybody who says we should just move it to week 0, I can't even take you seriously as a human, as an individual. I'm sorry. Because if you suggest we should move Army-Navy to week 0, then you know nothing about this game. You know nothing about these two institutions. You know nothing about these young men. And by saying, let's move it to week 0, everything that makes this game special goes away. And it's just another game on our schedule. And it does not carry nearly the same gravitas. And I will stand on the front lines and use whatever influence, whatever network I have to pound the drum to ensure that we do everything in our power to keep Army-Navy special, and certainly not to move it to week 0. And I was getting fired up that some people think this game doesn't mean anything, and that couldn't be the furthest thing from the truth.
Well said.
So
we all agree on that.
That was Army-Navy. So I guess
can you imagine Army-Navy in fucking late August?
No, that would be brutal.
Dude, that would be
brutal. No one would care.
No.
I don't know.
4 weeks of training camp and then right into Army-Navy. Like, what's that?
Yeah, that would not be the game.
Well,
I'll say.
Listen, it was great time with both of you. So
likewise.
Yes.
So next year in Jersey.
What's that?
Yeah.
Next year in Jersey.
And then back to Philly 27.
Yeah, I can't wait for 2027.
Literally can't wait.
I was just telling a bunch of people that. I was telling my lady that. I was telling my parents that. I was like, I'm excited for. Is it going to be back in Philly for a couple years then, or what's the?
I think that's when it goes back out after 27. It's like back out to bid. Yeah. So we don't know where it is beyond 27 right now.
So that could actually be announced soon, right? Like
it could be something that happens like next year. But here, I'm hoping this was what this last 5-year stretch was what Philly needed to put a little fire in their belly to say like, hey, you can't just roll out of bed and get this game anymore. You got to put in a legitimate bid.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Right.
So we just lost Ryan. She had enough. She said, "I'm out of here."
She's eating a burger or a chicken.
Maybe she.
I don't know what happened. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Did you? There you go.
I don't know. It said my browser lost connection to. What the fuck?
Oh, lost you again. But it was awesome, and it was great until the drive home. The weather was awesome. And then I had to drive home at 7 a.m. through a blinding snowstorm, which wasn't ideal, but we made it home safe and sound.
Good for you, man. I was,
yeah,
that flight back is brutal. It was like 5 hours on Southwest back to Vegas, but whatever.
Yeah. All right. A couple stories that are just not happy, but they're sweeping across America. So we'd be remiss not to mention them. Rob Reiner, famed director, actor, staple of Hollywood for the last 50 years, was brutally murdered alongside his wife, who was also murdered. And then I believe it's been confirmed that it was by, their son's hand. Is incredibly, incredibly sad. It's come out that the son had, problems with addiction, found himself homeless at various points of his life due to the addiction issues. And, we could just start by saying, well, our hearts go out to Rob Reiner's family and friends and those who knew him, but also like, I'd be hard pressed to find anybody who hasn't seen at least one Rob Reiner film and think, man, that was an awesome freaking movie. I'm always blown away by his run that he had, starting with, and this was like shared all over the internet, but his run that started in '84 with This Is Spinal Tap, Stand By Me, Princess Bride, When Harry Met Sally, Misery, Few Good Men, North, The American President. Like, that's unbelievable. These are movies that have been watched time and time again. And you got a great movie on your hands when TBS and TNT start showing them time and time again. I mean, When Harry Met Sally arguably is really the movie that kicked off the rom-com genre. A Few Good Men is quoted more times than anybody can count. Stand By Me, talk about a coming of age tale. So just his work. And then also, I don't know if you guys used to watch All in the Family. We, played Meathead alongside Archie Bunker there, old sitcom. And I used to watch that with my dad. And when I was little and growing up, I didn't always get all the jokes. And then I can remember like getting older and then I understood the jokes more. And then certainly his ability as an actor, I'm sure everybody can remember him most recently in Wolf of Wall Street as the dad.
That was my talking point for this segment, because we just watched that and so legendary, so good, so authentic. And him
only on screen for like 8 minutes.
I know.
But he steals the show almost. It seemingly. He's like $26,000 worth of sides. Yeah. Sides cure cancer.
Jonah Hill's pushing back at him.
Yeah,
it's like classic.
And then the other good story, I had heard about him at some point. So Ben Affleck and Matt Damon went to him to talk to him about Good Will Hunting, and they wanted the story to focus on how Will was a super smart dude, and they were trying to avoid the NSA. And by the way, we were just talking through a mess of issues on the back end here. Ryan is just battling with her computer at home and her internet. I don't know, that you got to get out of the woods.
Just look at me, Connor. Just look at me.
You got to get out of the woods of the sticks of Pennsylvania, Ryan, get some better internet. But anyway, Rob Reiner is the one that said to them, now focus the story on the relationship with the therapist, with Robin Williams' character. Yeah. And certainly, that makes the movie. But the thing I wanted to talk about with Rob Reiner is, and, we've talked about on here, and I know I talked about for a long time with Zero Bug 30, the importance of mental health and taking care of yourself. I was commenting to my wife today how it's interesting that Rob Reiner, who seemingly probably has, all the money that one could want in their lifetime, a ton of influence, knows probably so many people, and yet, he faced a problem that has plagued so many parents, and it was something that ultimately didn't turn out, it turned very badly for him. So it's just interesting. I thought that, problems when you're a parent, they don't care how much money you have. They don't care if you're famous. When you have problems as a parent, they can rear their ugly head no matter what. So that was just kind of the takeaway I had from this whole story. I was just kind of curious if you guys thought about it from that angle at all.
Yeah, Ryan, we can't hear you. So, not to laugh there, but I heard a quote from him earlier today on Twitter, and he said something along the lines of how much he loved all his children, even though one of his children was in rehab in and out 17 times. Yeah. I thought that was pretty profound because, to your point, Mr. Reiner has all the money in the world, him and his wife, and not just for a brief period of time. I mean, this man catapulted to fame in the 70s. So you're talking generational wealth, life-changing wealth, and money for dozens of people, right? And one of his other children, Cons, I think you'll appreciate this. I dug into it. He is just a local TV journalist because he loved journalism, and he's still on local TV to this day. I forgot where and what affiliate, but I just thought that speaks volumes too. And it's just so sad. And it's heartbreaking because this man's portfolio is so vast. And, James Woods, who's on the other side of the political spectrum, and him didn't really see eye to eye, left and right wing, I guess. And James Woods, I encourage everyone to go check out his Twitter for what he said about Rob Reiner putting their political differences away. So, just super, super sad.
Ryan, do we have you? Can you speak?
I think I'm back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you are. Hey, really quick, I'll just say it because I was curious. I didn't see what James Woods said, but I know that they're both on the complete opposite sides of the political spectrum. But James said, Rob and I remained good friends ever since we made Ghosts of Mississippi. The studio didn't think I was old enough to do the part, but Rob fought for me. Political differences never stood in the way of our love and respect for each other. I am devastated by this terrible event. And gosh, so many people came out and said amazing things about Rob Reiner today. And, outside of President Trump tweet, which I did not, that was not okay, what he said about Rob Reiner. But it's, people often say, I don't like someone because of their political views. I hear it all the time. Like, I don't like Bruce Springsteen because of his political views. It's like, sometimes I think you got to separate the art from the artists, and whatever Rob Reiner's political views are, throw that out the window because he gave so much great art to our country and to the world that, I bet you there's so many people who hated Rob Reiner's political views and then probably didn't even realize A Few Good Men. Oh, that was directed by Rob Reiner and probably, love A Few Good Men. So,
I did not know he made that film until his passing yesterday. Yeah. And that's one of my top fives.
Yeah.
I think, I woke up this morning. It was the first thing I saw. And I got to tell you, I think we live in a sad state when we're talking about someone's politics after they've been murdered by their clearly mentally ill son. I don't give a shit what his politics were. I could care less. This is tragic. This is so sad. And anyone talking about his politics, our president included, frankly, I'm sorry. That's bullshit. Give me a break. This is terrible. It's terrible. Yeah.
You know what kills me too about a statement like that from president is dude, you literally just had the country rallying with your presidents at Army Navy. And it's such a high important event in our country, and political differences are put aside, and Governor Westmore was there, his administration was there, everyone is just getting along. I talked to 2 Democrat congressmen on the field, and then you have to just put out a statement like that the day after Army Navy. I don't know, it's so sad.
I wish we could go back to a world where it just doesn't always come back to politics.
Yeah,
because I bet if I had met Rob Reiner at some point
given him a hug.
10 years,
I would have given him a hug, dude.
I would have told him, how much of a fan I was of his work. And let's say we were having coffee or dinner. I wouldn't be surprised if politics never even came up. It's just, not everything is political, and it's just crazy how everything turns to politics now, and people feel the need to just say horrible things about other people, and I don't understand it. Just a really, really horrible, tragic event that you never think, that one of your children is going to take your life and your wife's life. So, that family's obviously reeling right now and just not doing well, and understandably, and just really, really sad. Not that Rob Reiner, I mean, seemingly was, still vibrant and young, despite the fact that he was 78. I don't know how many more movies he had left in him, but nevertheless, just a treasure to American cinema, and really, really just a horrible story. And I guess just to tie it together, like I said, it doesn't matter what kind of money and fame you have. And if you know someone that's experiencing a hard time, you got to just be there for them and help them get help. And then that's all you can really do.
Yeah.
And we'll just move on very briefly. These next three stories. It's just crappy. Like, that's the other thing. When I'm in Army Navy, like, the rest of the world kind of goes away, and I have no idea.
Yeah.
While we were at Army Navy, it's a shooting at Brown University. While we were there, a shooting in Australia, and then the green on blue incident in Syria. I got to be honest. We're all going to say some form of that's really freaking horrible. I don't know what else to say at this point. And I feel not dumb, but is that insensitive, or am I a bad person that I am at a loss for words and how many different ways I can say this is horrible? Is this something that we should stop talking about? And if we ignore it, will it go away? Or do we need to keep talking about these stories to fight for change, whether that's with how, again, people people hate one another enough that they want to take a gun to a public event or to a university and shoot innocent people. I don't know I'm asking you guys, what's the answer? What do we do about these stories?
I mean, I don't think there's, I mean, I don't know that we're the ones to have, and nor do I think we should be the ones to have like in-depth discussions about why this happened or how this happened. I mean, I think, listen, I have close family friends. I knew someone who was at Brown. Her parents were up there that day. She's thankfully okay. But it was scary. I knew it was going on while the game was going on because I had, someone that I cared about at Brown as a student. I think you look at the hate that's in this world right now, and it's significant. And, I think what happens is a lot of times it becomes like politically charged when events like this happen. And that's what, and it starts to do a lot of finger pointing of like, well, you guys should have done this and you guys should have done this. And that's why this happened. And I don't know, it feels like Groundhog Day a lot of times. And, I feel like I'm at a loss for words on what to say other than like you, Connor, it's horrible. And I don't think there's anything wrong with us just acknowledging that.
Yeah.
And that being what it is, I will say, if there's anything that comes out of these incidents, that shooting in Australia, if you see that video of the guy that takes the shooter down.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy was like, he was like a merchant in town, like an older gentleman. And the way he just rushed that guy, disarmed the gun, and then had
Before
it right.
The cops did anything too.
Yeah. And it was just like, that's where, that's where you look at things is like, we all have to play a part, and in just like an extraordinary act of heroism right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's freaking sad. It's sad. And,
Yeah.
I pray for our Jewish friends, because that was clearly, a motivated act of violence on the Jewish community.
It was a
Horrible. Yeah. And sorry, I'm not comparing, but it's certainly not as serious because it's a football game. But we have two groups of people that root for two different schools, and your tailgate is such an interesting study, Ryan, I think, in culture, because at the end of the day, everybody there is there to enjoy a game and have fun and watch football. And yes, there's a rivalry, and yes, we want to beat the other guys, but I mean, there were no fights at your tailgate. I didn't see any fights in the stands. Maybe there's always some good natured trash talk. There's no like vitriol being spilled. All the stuff that I say, despite the fact that I guess Navy people wake up and think about how much they dislike me. I think it's all in good fun at the end of the day. And I'm not saying that football can solve the world's problems, but I do think the vast majority of people in this world don't have a problem with other people in this world. So maybe if we can just focus on being good to one another, like that can continue to spread. I don't, maybe that's me being Pollyanna and oversimplifying things, but I don't know what else to do at this point.
I think you're right.
You can only control yourself. So just think
right.
about, and especially at Christmas time, Hanukkah, take an opportunity and just, if someone cuts you off in traffic, don't flip out on them. Someone cuts you in line at Target when you're Christmas shopping, say like, oh, no big deal. Go ahead. Maybe take opportunities where you might have blown up in the past and use it as an opportunity to just spread love instead of getting in somebody's face and arguing and finding a reason to be angry when it's not that serious. Now, these issues of people hating others for their religious beliefs or the color of their skin, that is serious. That's a problem that unfortunately we can't solve right now, just us three. But I guess everyone can just focus on spreading love. And I don't know if that's too simple, but that's what we can do, right? Spread love.
Spread love. I'm down with that.
Spread love, baby.
Hey, that's what Biggie said, right? Spread love. It's the Brooklyn way. Yeah. So, speaking of spreading love, let's talk about Christmas because we got Christmas coming next week. This is gonna be the last episode of 2025. We'll see you again in the new year. But just kind of curious, how do you guys celebrate Christmas? What do you do? What are your traditions? Tell me the good stuff, Ryan.
I do, traditions. My mom's side of the family's Italian, so I do the traditional seven fishes on Christmas Eve. I've tried to elevate it because we do a lot of the like real traditional, like, fried smelt and so I know
plenty. I grew up with a lot of Italian friends, and I've been to the Seven Fishes a time or two. It's unbelievable how many like kind of take liberties because they're like the traditional fishes are just.
Can you explain what that is? I have no idea what that is.
Put me on the spot. Well,
I've always heard of it, but I've never.
I don't actually know the origin of why we eat seven fishes. I probably should.
Is it actually like 7 different types of fish?
Well, at least 7. I mean, we have more than. Do you have it up, Connor?
You just take turns.
No, I'm going up top my dome. It's just it's called the Feast of the Seven Fishes.
Yeah,
So it's called
like a charcuterie board of different fish.
No, it's more than that. It's like very, very much prepared. And again, every Italian family.
Yeah, y'all do. I mean, listen, last year I brought in caviar because I was like, I'm like, oysters, shrimp cocktail because but a lot of it is like, there's like calamari and peas and red sauce. Like, that's how my grandmom used to do it, and little fried fishes. But so we do that. and then Christmas Day, it's sometimes a lot of times we host a big party with my dad's side of the family. There's been times where I've had over 100 people here in my house on Christmas Day.
That's an absurd amount of people.
I know.
Okay. Even like I've never been to your home. Like even if let's just say your home is 30,000, 40,000 square feet. I mean, that's an absurd amount of people to have inside of a home.
Are you doing gift
Christmas
exchanges too? And
no. So my house is not 30,000 feet, 1,000 square feet, just FYI. Just to set that straight.
So even more crazy that you cram 100 people in there.
Yeah. So my dad is one of 10. So I have like.
Oh, it was awesome to meet your father at the game on the field. Shout out to
Colonel.
Yeah, Colonel Manion.
He was having a great time.
That was actually my favorite link up at the game because he's fucking awesome.
Oh, well, he was talking to Mark Wahlberg and I snapped a picture of them and then I like posted in my story and I'm like, Mark Wahlberg got to meet my dad. Highlighted.
I saw that. It was good caption.
But yeah, so I have so many first cousins and then they, now we're older and they have kids. So yeah, but that was like a tradition growing up. This year I'm gonna keep it a little quieter.
There's only gonna be 50 people.
Yeah. So, but I mean, listen, my daughter's gonna be home from Navy. The kids will be home. Might sneak down to Florida after Christmas to my dad's place. But yeah, I'm going a little bit. I'm not as planned this year, I will say, as I normally am in past years. I'm just gonna take it easy. That's my plan.
Yeah. Rob, real quick. No, so like I have so much respect for the Italians because when so many of them immigrated over here, they were, kind of like a lower class of people and they got persecuted a lot. But what they had and they brought over here were their traditions that they did back in Italy. And that was one of the things they did. And it's a Catholic thing because I don't know why I don't know. It's something to do with like, I know they abstain from meat. They abstain from meat.
Well, yeah, that's during Lent. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So they
meat on Friday nights.
Yeah, on Fridays. Oh, yeah.
We don't eat meat on Friday nights during Lent. So I just looked it up because my godmother's listening to this or my Italian aunts, they're going to lose their mind. So the Feast of Seven Fishes is a traditional Italian-American Christmas Eve dinner featuring a large meal of seafood rooted in Southern Italian Catholic customs by abstaining from meat on holy vigils before Christmas. So, every Friday you don't eat meat leading up to. Families prepare 7 or more different fish seafood dishes symbolizing the Catholic sacraments or creation to celebrate family heritage and the bounty of the sea, with dishes ranging from fried smelts, that's so funny, to pasta with clams, cod, shrimp, and calamari. So, yeah.
I got to get on this as a non-Catholic. I need to try this out one year.
It's actually super. It's like, because it's a little smorgasbord of all these different things.
It's fun too, Rob, because like if you get like I experienced it especially I got into high school because we didn't really growing up, we didn't do much on Christmas Eve. We'd go to mass and now my mom would make dinner. But then as I got older and I'd be allowed to go out, I mean, these seven fishes, like sometimes it doesn't start till like midnight. So these Italians are going all night, which is ridiculous, especially
a lot of times, like some of the people in our family will do the seven fishes and then go to midnight mass.
Midnight mass, yeah.
So like I typically do like the 4 o'clock mass, and then because I'm like, but like a lot of people, some of my cousins, they're like they eat and drink and then they head to mass at midnight. So yeah, maybe I'll do that this year. That'd be kind of cool.
It's a great tradition. Shout out to the Italians. That's Rob, what about you, buddy?
Man, this year with 202, I'm kind of we're going with the flow, and I'll explain. Traditionally, German Lutheran, we go to church Christmas Eve, and we do gifts Christmas Eve evening. It's a really, really big tradition. You do all your gifts Christmas Eve, and you save a few for Christmas Day, and you have a lot of company over on Christmas Day. Okay. And December 26th, ends up being the 3rd day of Christmas. So that's my tradition. A lot of fish, a lot of turkey, a lot of ham. But Christmas Eve is actually like the biggest day for my family and my background. Yeah. This year, I'm speaking at the All Service Academy Gala on the 22nd. So that'll
What's that?
That's in Louisiana, in New Orleans.
Mm.
Speak at that. There's like 400 people signed up. So I'll speak at that, fly back home, and then we're just gonna chill, dude. I'm picking out the tree with my son tomorrow. It's a little late, but we're gonna pick it up together. He's 2. He just turned 2, so that's gonna be super cute. And then my thought, guys, I wanna hear what you think. Is like every year pick out a new tree with him, and it gets bigger and bigger every year.
That's cool. Do a little
Oh,
tree.
she started like a 3-foot tree this year.
Yeah, like something little, like let him pick it out, and then next year, like go to like the bigger trees, and then let him pick out which one he wants.
That's kind of cool.
That's different.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So my one of the traditions my dad did growing up, we don't do it, but they used to get their tree on Christmas Eve.
I've heard of people doing that back in the day.
Yeah.
Early Christmas Eve.
And they decorated the tree that night. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's crazy. By the 26th, I'm like, get this shit out of here, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So that's cool. I love that.
Yeah. And then Christmas Eve, just low key. You know, we're all just so busy, and it's the end of the year. It's been an amazing year, lots of growth and learning. So we're just gonna lay low, and then Christmas Day, spend it with our Vegas family. And then next year, all the cousins, all the family, we're gonna go big at my parents' place in the DC area, and that'll be like 50 people. So next year is the big Bachman Mannion-esque Christmas, where all the children will be older. So we're already planning that. But this year, just laying low, just watch this football.
There's just a plethora of sports on Christmas.
Oh yeah, NBA, football. Yeah. Is there a bowl game now on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day? Or there is, right?
There might be, dude. I know there's NFL. There's definitely NFL. Cowboys at Commanders, Lions at Vikings, Broncos at Eagles. There's 3 games. That's nuts. I don't know about bowl games though.
But the word is you have some sort of epic New Year's Eve plan. So.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to hear about that?
I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, what do you do on Christmas?
Well, Christmas we host Christmas Day, so that everybody will be here. I have like 15 people. Alex,
will Rich be there? Will Rich be there though?
No, we do Thanksgiving with them, and then they do their own thing on Christmas.
Okay.
So Rich will not be there, but I'll let him know you were asking about him.
Yeah, please do.
Then Christmas Day Christmas Eve, I'll go to mass. And then my neighbors are actually having us over for they're having a big festive meal and family over. So we're doing that on Christmas Eve, which is nice because then we don't have to worry about anything. Christmas Day, I'm doing a standing rib roast.
Nice.
Alex will take care of everything else. She will be cooking up a storm. And then Christmas night, once the kids are in bed, then I have more adults come over. Out back, fire. Well, actually, we'll still have family here because the kids go to bed at like 7:30. Family will still be here, but out back for fire, cigars, whiskey, wine, music. Probably have a game going on outside.
I love that. I might stop by. Might try.
You're welcome to. If anybody who wants to come by, send me a DM. I might have to vet a few of you, but
yeah, definitely after this weekend.
Yeah, open door policy. But yes, please. Maggie is invited.
Okay, I'll let her know. Maybe Maggie and I'll cruise up. I just got to before you tell us your what you're doing for New Year's. I'm really excited. I think there's something special about all of us saying that our Christmas plans involve us going to mass. I don't know. I don't think it's the norm anymore. So I just want to acknowledge that.
There's been a good. I go monthly now to my awesome Lutheran church here. Shout out to Mountain View, and it's just like I kind of lost touch with church a little bit during COVID, especially, and now I can feel it. Like there's younger folks, 20 to late 30s, just more participation. Every service gets more and more attended. I think even like the traditional service at 8 a.m. and then the more contemporary at 10:30. I can see it. It's like you can feel it too, and it's nice to see.
It's so funny because growing up, I'm Catholic. Growing up, like we had to go to church. We went to church every Sunday. I was an altar server for 5 years.
Wow.
It wasn't a question. High school got a little touch and go. I had a little more autonomy just because of sports and travel and things of that nature. And then what was interesting was college, I started going regularly again because in Beast Barracks, Sunday you were allowed. Even you could go to any service, but it was a reason for you to get away from people yelling at you. So people who weren't even religious, like, yeah, I'll go to church because you wanted to get away from everything. But so that was good. But then what was awesome was my junior year when Coach Bobby Ross became our coach, he brought a priest and a Protestant minister with us on home games and away games to the hotel. Friday night, there was a Protestant service. Saturday morning, we had mass. So I was able to go all through the season as well.
That's
and
cool.
then, life gets in the way, and I wasn't as regular, once I was in the Army. And then when I was out in Iraq, a priest came from time to time. But I would say, since having kids, I'm back regular on Sundays. And that's something that, is important to us and that we want to demonstrate and bring our kids to church every Sunday. And hopefully they don't feel like they have to go. They want to go. I don't know. They probably won't because it's an hour of quiet time and you don't want to do that when you're 10. But nevertheless, yes, Ryan, good observation.
One of our churches, real quick, my Lutheran church, they have a quiet room for the the children. Yeah. And you still get, it's like a, see-through, almost like jail type room, but like it's soundproof and like they have everything set up for the children. I think that's like a nice, they didn't have that when I was growing up.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. But then, in between Christmas and New Year's,
you're going on a bender, just a week straight.
No. Excuse me. In between Christmas and New Year's, we're going to the Hershey Lodge with another family.
Oh, you'll love that. Have you been there?
Yeah, no, we've done it before with this family. They have an indoor pool, water slides. As long as it's warm, like the park's open. So as long as it's warm, we'll go to the park one day. And it's just a great way to get out of the house with kids as opposed to trying to sit inside for a week straight. But then that's when the fun starts when we get home from Hershey Lodge. We're potty training. New Year's Eve this year, we'll be spending
I have to
potty training. So
that's your big New Year's Eve. I was like, I can't wait this year. I'm going to see.
I thought maybe Con's coming to Vegas, maybe.
I mean, I literally was so excited. I'm like, I'm going to see whatever he's doing. I'm going to see if I can.
Dude, I'm so proud of you because you're so intentional and you're so forward planning that
credit to my wife.
That too. Like, honey.
No, my wife is.
I have an idea. Potty train.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for anybody who's potty trained kids knows you need like a few days where you don't have to do anything. You just sit in the house and you just let them run around naked apparently. And then, work your way up to using the toilet. I'm going to have to do more research that my wife has already done and get smart on this.
It's actually the best time to do it. You're right. Before work kicks in, you got the whole week. It's kind of bullshit. You just
well, because then when Maggie goes back to school, she's starting a new class.
And
they encourage you to be
now, right? They have to be trained,
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that sounds so fun.
Can't wait.
Ryan,
I know
you're potty train horror story from. Sorry, Connor, I didn't mean to speak over you. Give us a horror story.
I didn't really have any.
Maggie took a dump in the shower the other night. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that and embarrass her, but all of a sudden, like I hear, Dad, I pooped, and I look in the shower. Because she's gotten it like in the last 2 months, she discovered showers and she's like, wait, this is cool. So some nights we do baths, some nights we do showers, and she just sits while the shower is on. But then I just heard from behind the curtain, Dad, I pooped. Sure enough, there was poop in the bathtub.
I will say, I don't have any horror stories, but I do have a picture with each one of my kids standing next to the baby toilet with their first poop in the toilet, and they're standing to the side with a thumbs up.
Nice.
And
that is so good.
Yeah. So I do have that. Yeah. You just
picture.
You get those M&Ms, and it's just like,
oh yeah. After a
one M&M for a pee-pee, 2 M&Ms for a poo-poo.
It's total bribery. That's right. Okay. Those are pictures you blow up on their wedding day, I think.
Exactly. I mean, sometimes they pop up in my memories and I'm like, that's funny as shit. I literally was stand there and give a thumbs up for mommy, your first poop.
Yeah.
So. Did you post those?
No, they are.
Oh, okay.
They are not posted. They're not in my on my
Gotcha.
Google Photos.
Okay,
No.
just making sure it's not like the Facebook weird.
No, I don't have my Navy midshipman's picture of her with a big load in the toilet. No.
I just had to verify.
No.
Okay.
No, just send her that when she takes over her first platoon as a Marine. That'll be good. Perfect. All right. Well, that's all I got. Any caveats?
No, I mean, I think this is our last show before 2026. So I just want to tell you guys it's been, an awesome year. Hanging with you guys once a week and just, like you said before, spreading love. I have so much love for both of you. So yeah, it's good stuff.
Rob.
Nice. Shout out to you too. We made it through the year pretty much. We're almost at our 1 year anniversary, I think in February of next year. It's been such an awesome year with you both, especially this past weekend. Can't say it enough. Army's bowl game is on December 27th against UConn at Fenway. I'll be watching that. If anyone wants to chirp at me, chirp at me.
When is Navy's bowl game?
I think January.
Is it January? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the date.
Cincinnati.
Yes, I know it's Cincinnati.
Liberty Bowl, January 2nd. Navy Cincinnati.
January 2nd. Okay.
Where is that?
Memphis, maybe.
Memphis.
Yeah.
All right. Collins, what about you?
Listen, it's such a weird year for me. I had my dad pass and then my son was born. So, one life ends, another one starts, and been wrestling with that at seemingly every juncture, especially this past weekend. And I was real grateful that my brother-in-law came with me because he kind of really, can't replace my dad, but he certainly filled the gap, and it made me feel less alone. And certainly having you guys there was fantastic. And I had really, seriously, it was outside of the game, which, will probably haunt me until I die because that's just how I think about football games. It really was one of the most enjoyable Army Navies in recent memory. And I've had some good ones. So that I think is saying a lot. And you guys had a lot to do with that. So thank you very much. Thank you to the listeners who stuck with us during this transition to this new show. And, we'll continue to improve and change and adapt and, get better. So it's been a lot of fun. An interesting year, to say the least. So just a lot of gratitude, and I'm grateful to be able to have this medium and this platform, and for all the people that reach out, or all the people that came up on Saturday and said hello. It really does mean a lot. I feel just so blessed to have this platform, to meet all the people that I've met, and sometimes I have to just take a step back and think about all of that. So yeah, weird year. I'll say that. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was just weird.
We love you, dude.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thanks. So to everybody, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. We will see you in 2026 when Army will be victorious once again. Beat Navy.